smoke.
What's going on, everybody? So today we're gonna be fooling around with my daddy's other truck. He's got the 86 and this one here. It's a 95. I don't know if I've ever showed it on here or not, but yeah, it's a 95 model Chevy Silverado. It's got a 350 TBI in it. It originally come with a 305. A little background on it. I bought this truck 5 or 6 years ago. I think I gave 800 bucks for it. I got it from a young kid. I think he was like 16, 17 years old. I think it was one of his first trucks. But he bought the truck and then the transmission went bad in it. And this being a 95 model, the transmission in these is a 1 year only. So you have to have a transmission for a 95 to work in these trucks. So he ended up having the transmission rebuilt. It cost him $1,400 to do that. And then after he had the transmission all put back in, all the truck would do was crank up and die. And crank up and die. That's all it would do. Just literally just start up, run a couple seconds and die. So we bought the truck from him, gave him 800 bucks for it. Fresh built transmission, paperwork and all for it. Got it back to the house, realized it was a fuel problem. So we pulled the bed off the back there and pulled the pump out. There's a little rubber line about that long that connects the fuel pump to the pickup, and it had a cut in it, so it would shoot up fuel pressure and then enough to start it up, and then it would lose pressure through that little cut. So we put another line on there and that solved that problem. So my daddy was needing a truck at the time. He was driving a little S10 that was about wore out, so me and him did a little dealing. He got this from me, and it had a, like I said, it had a 305 in it originally. It started to smoke a little bit and burn a lot of oil, so we ended up putting this 350 in it, and it's been in there ever since. I'd say he probably drove it about a year with a 305, then we put this 350 in it. And it's been running good ever since, but here lately he's been having some hard start problems. Couldn't get it to start this morning. He thought the starter might be bad on it, so we're gonna fool with it and see what might be going on here. He's already been fooling with it this morning. He's trying to get it to start up so he could drive it. He was in a hurry and getting aggravated and all that crap, so he just took the car. And I told him I'd fool with this, see if I can figure out what's up with it. I guess we're gonna jump in there and see what it does. A little side view of it, step side. Not a bad little truck. I mean, it was in a little better shape when we first got it, but he's been using it to work out of and stuff like that. Bed is in actually pretty good shape in this one. A lot of these step side beds usually have a corner or something busted off of them. It is just a work truck model, so it's all manual windows and everything, manual locks, all that good stuff. Let's see what she's doing. It's got almost 300,000 miles on it now. I think it had 220,000 or so whenever we first picked it up. And like I said, he drove it for about a year with a 305, so he probably put a few thousand miles on it. And all the rest of them's been on this little 350. Does sound like the flywheel or starter teeth might be a little wore out. The starter itself is not bad. So. The battery's going dead, so let me pull my truck around here and jump it. Got my truck hooked up to her, let the battery charge a little bit. I guess he run it dead this morning fooling with it. My daddy hates working on crap, especially when he's in a hurry. He gets aggravated if something goes wrong. Makes it a daggone big deal. Let's try it again. Kind of sounds like it ain't firing or something. A little gas here. Pour that down in there. And then we'll know for sure. If it fires up, then we'll know we're not getting fuel. Or if it don't fire up, then we might not be getting spark. Still nothing. Yeah, I don't think she's firing. Alright, so just grab the plug wire off, stuck the screwdriver in it. Got it right there so it'll arc out. And, I guess I'm gonna try to prop my phone up somewhere to video it, so can't really see from inside. I ain't got nobody to get the key and spin the motor over for me. Alright, well, didn't see no spark there. Don't seem to have no spark there either, so I guess I'll try the coil. See if I can find one laying around somewhere. I did have a bunch of TBI stuff, ignition stuff, throttle bodies and whatnot laying around. So let me see if I can find a coil. We'll swap that out and see if that's the problem. Yeah, I just noticed that damn hose is completely collapsed. Well, don't like it's got any water in it. Must have a pretty tight seal. Got another coil, so let's see if we can swap that out. Actually, I don't think I need to take that one all the way out because it's, or do I? Let me see. One side slips in, another side, yeah, this side slips in there. Alright, so yeah, I don't have to take that one all the way out. Sure these wires ain't messed up. Me personally, I've never had a coil fail on TBI vehicles I've had, and I've had quite a few of these TBI trucks. And the main thing I've had fail as far as ignition wise is usually the control module and the distributor, or maybe the distributor itself, but I have never replaced a coil. So if this is what's wrong, then that'll be the first for me. Swap the coil out. Alright. Still nothing. I guess we're going to try to replace the control module and the distributor. That's usually what goes bad on these. Whenever they stop firing, it's usually that control module that goes out. Grabbed a couple old distributors I had, pulled the module out of one of them. But let's check this distributor out first. Oh hell. Yep. That might be our problem right there. Let me see if I can get some light on. So the little button that goes in the cap to fire on the rotor there is gone. So without that, definitely not going to do nothing. Got this cap here off that distributor. I just pulled the ignition module out of, and you can see it's got a little button right there. Goes in and out, and that is what we're missing on this one. Gone. Probably wouldn't hurt to replace that too, because that distributor there has a brand new one on it. I say brand new, and it's a little used, but it's in a lot better shape than that one. It actually looks like this distributor cap, ignition module and all was replaced on this distributor for took it out of whatever it came out of. I've tore so many of these TBI trucks apart. I got literally about 10 of these distributors laying in the shed out there. I don't know which one came from which, but I usually keep them for this reason right here. So looks like our problem wasn't the coil after all, and not the control module, so I don't even need to worry about changing that out. I didn't even think to look at the distributor cap when I pulled it off, but that's a good lesson right there. Always check your distributor cap before you go to tearing in everything else. We know our problem is in our distributor cap, so let's go ahead and get that one off. I'm gonna change out these rotors too, and then it should fire right up. Got it all hooked back up. Swap the cap and rotor out. All plug wires are hooked back up. The only thing to do now is see if it'll start. All right, start right up for me. Yeah, maybe we do need to replace the starter. It is trying to start though. Starting the truck up, let the battery build up a little bit. Seems like we might be replacing the starter too, because it is grinding and jumping back and stuff. All right, let's try it. It's trying to start. It's just daggum starter and flywheel ain't working together properly. It might have been what destroyed the button and all in the cap to begin with. The daggum motor keep kicking back and stuff like that and popping back, tear stuff up like that pretty easily. I ain't gonna keep on trying it because it's just making the starter and flywheel worse and keeps wearing the battery down. I guess I'm gonna try to find a starter for this thing laying around somewhere. Try to get it pushed around there. That way I ain't gotta go back and forth. Well, it did rain there for about 30 minutes, but it didn't last long, and now it's gone. So get her pushed around there where it's easy to work on, and find a starter to put on it, and then hopefully we can get it fired up then. Got a little different shop floor today since all my tarps are covering up motors and they're all freaking wet. This is the best I can find. Let's see what's going on under here. Yeah, I mean, flywheel don't look too bad, but you can definitely see the shiny marks on it where she was grinding and popping back and whatnot. So probably the teeth on the starter. Well, it kind of looks like it might need to be shimmed. It's still engaged, as you can see. Might try to shim it before we pull it all the way off. One thing I always make sure I do whenever tightening up starters is tighten up each side a little at a time. Don't crank down on one side and then crank down on the other side, because usually what that does is makes it cockeyed to one side. Let's go try that, see what she does. A little bit better. Guess I'll let the battery build up for a minute. Let me just throw another battery in this thing. I'm tired of this crap. Alright, take 83 hot battery. Damn it, the smoke. Definitely didn't want to crank though. Probably was flooded out. Me trying to crank it for an hour and a half. I ain't never seen that much smoke come out of this thing before. Hell, this is smoking worse than the 305 we took out of here 5 years ago. Finally alive though. We'll let it sit here and run for a minute, and then we'll shut her off and see how much of a pain in the ass it is to get fired up again after it runs for a minute. Still don't think it would hurt to go ahead and throw another starter on it. My daddy's been having problems with this thing for the last few months. His old motor is getting wore out her damn self. Once we get that one over there up and running, he's talking about selling this one and using the money he gets from this one to fix that one up better, you know. I don't know if he's gonna do that sure or not. But we'll let it run for a minute. Still starting up. It's idling a little jumpy. It's pretty much always done that. So at least it is running again. Starter ain't grinding. Just put that one shim on it. That seemed to do the trick for now. Might end up having to replace the starter eventually though, but for now it seems to be alright. You just have to give it a little gas to get her to start up. I did move the timing back and forth a little bit, so might have to adjust the timing a little bit. Well, at least we got it running again. The starter seems to be working alright. Put that little shim on it, and that made a hell of a difference. Still idling a little funny, which is, it's been doing that for a while now. We've changed just about everything there is to change on this thing. I think he's about to run it down the road, see how it does. I'm about to run to town myself, so we're gonna end this one off here. Y'all just like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more. Later. Oh, and if y'all got any ideas of what would cause it to idle rough, it kind of loads up and floods a little bit too. Like I said, we've changed all the ignition system, all the sensors and stuff you can think of. The only thing we really ain't changed is the ECM and maybe a couple other little things. So anybody got any ideas why I might idle up and down and flood a little bit, let me know.